Whoa, is this another consistent upload from yours truly? That just doesn't seem possible now, does it? I'd just like to thank you for the continued support on the content I've been producing. It's been amazing to say the least. I'm just here to remind you to subscribe if you like the content you see here today. Anyways, grab a snack or something. I'm personally drinking out of my grommet mug right now. This video will contain spoilers for Astro Bot, so I hope you enjoy the video. Man, if only Nintendo could make another Galaxy game. I absolutely love these games. The art style, music, everything is just so amazing. I would do anything to get more of it. Oh wait, here's Astro Bot. Astro Bot, PlayStation's not so new mascot. He's from this PSVR game known only to us mortals as Astro Bot Rescue Mission. I love this hunk of junk here, but I never got around to playing this game. Can you tell? I don't want to boot up my PS4 again, so I'll just leave it in its packaging for the rest of my life. I'm not a true Astro Bot fan, but I did play a little bit of the tech demo they released to showcase exactly what the PS5 could do. I remember loving the 5 minutes of it I actually played so much that I wished it was an actual game. I already did the reveal, but, well, here it is again. I hope you're happy. Look at this thing here. All plastic and able to be held right in the palm of my hands. The GameStop employee I got this from was nice enough to accidentally give me a pre-ordered copy of the game, so I got some cool bonuses. I got an in-game skin earlier instead of just playing to access it. Not sure I needed that. I also got a controller skin, but it's stuck to the piece of paper and I can't get it off. I love this little poster here, showcasing all these bots on one side, and on the other we have a little comic strip. Really cool stuff here. Lifting up the disc, we get some more bots saying hello to me. Look at this, an actual disc drive. I can actually slide my disc into this to play the game I actually own. Not sure Sony could come up with that one, judging by the fact they didn't want to include one in their garbage Pro model. The game starts off with a pretty simple story premise. So, the whole gang here is having a rave while driving their PS5 through space. Sounds normal. This giant green bastard shows up and rips the main core of the CPU out of the thing and makes a run for it, damaging the PS5 as it leaves. Everything scatters everywhere, leaving only Mr. Astro Bot himself and a broken PS5 without any cores. Looks like we're actually dead. Alright, that's it. Pack it up. Roll credits. Just kidding. Our controller helps repair us back to normal. Since we are the only ones left, it is up to us to regather everyone and fully repair the PS5 to its former glory. We found the satellite that was stuck inside a bunch of sand waiting to be helped. After attacking it, they helped send us to the world map where we uncover the first main world. The game is split up into 5 main worlds. All of them are named and are shaped after their own respective bosses. Like the first world is called Gorilla Nebula. I wonder why it's called that, almost as if... no. It couldn't be. World names are not the most creative things ever, but I firmly believe that this might be the only bad part of this entire game. Heading inside the first world explains why I like to consider this the third game in our Plumber's Little Galaxy adventure. I only say this game is similar to Super Mario Galaxy because of how everything is set up. All the levels are stuck around the central planet called the Crash Site, where you will come and go very often. I'll talk about it later, don't worry. This is kind of set up almost exactly how the planets are in Rosalina's Observatory. Not complaining though, because it's so cool. I believe this game is much more than that though. This game is a 3D platformer crafted with love and passion for not only PlayStation, but for the entire medium as a whole. Whoa, the PlayStation 5 has games? It has a singular game. Get it right. Heading into the first level here, we can already see how crisp everything looks and controls. The leaves in the water all move around very fluidly when you run through it. Little Astro Bot has sort of a double jump. He basically hovers for a few seconds so you can gain some more distance. Kinda remind you of something? Don't worry, I won't be comparing this game the whole video, okay? I absolutely love this game, so I just want to show some of the stuff this game has been influenced by. He also has a spin attack when you hold and release the square button, and a plethora of more moves that are most often level specific. Did you know this game has a dedicated dance button? Pressing down on the D-pad will do a random dance. Finding out this game has a dedicated floss button is one of the greatest things I've ever discovered. This immediately makes this game rank higher than any other PlayStation game ever made. We also see the coins that are picked up. These aren't used for all that much, besides one specific thing that I'll bring up in a little bit. They also have little PlayStation logos on them, so that's pretty cool. Other than that though, you often have these massive open areas where you can explore everything to your heart's content. The enemies are themed after robotic alien type stuff, which is why they look this way. They aren't very difficult to deal with in open spaces like this, but when you get to more enclosed or smaller areas, they can be a real pain. Here we are, we have obtained our first bot. There's a grand total of, drumroll please, 301 bots to rescue throughout this entire game. I wouldn't really consider that a lot though. The big number sure does make it sound like a lot, but because of there being roughly 6 to 7 bots per level, you'll end up having a lot of them in no time. Same thing with these puzzle pieces here. These are our star coins. Trust me, they have an actual use. They are used for something specific in the Crash Site that I will explain in due time. Don't fret. Anyways, these bots are where we can get an absolute ton of PlayStation and other gaming icon cameos. This first level here has Ratchet because I don't know, why not? Not many levels have actual theming decisions behind the bots that are located inside of them, so oftentimes you'll find a random one like the Bloodborne guy on top of a flower. I love the inclusion of all these guys. It makes the collecting aspect that much more interesting. Trying to guess which characters will be in which levels is actually one of the most fun I've ever had in a game before. I haven't played every game in existence yet, so I don't know every character that's in this game. These levels are just like galaxy stages where they are linear and have a designated endpoint to them. That means they can have way more if the levels are more bite-sized and polished. Since I'm on the topic of characters, I might as well talk about the crash site. So this little place is where all our bots that we rescue will go to after we rescue them from a level. They all have their own designated areas where they will just stand around and do their own things. If they have special items, then they will use them in their animations. In order to obtain said item, we will have to do this little thing called gambling. Because games just love to have gambling in their games now, we need to spin the Gatcha machine to obtain all the items for them. You know how I feel about gambling. If I don't gamble, I start shivering. The Gatcha machine is the only thing keeping me sane. This is, however, the only thing the coins are used for in this game, so trust me when I say you'll need a lot. You'll need an absolute shit ton of them. You'll need roughly 17,000 coins to obtain them all. Not too big of a deal. Just play the game and you'll get there. I didn't have to grind for coins, so you shouldn't have to either. Some of my favorite cameos in this game are all of the Persona characters. Joker, Teddy, Igus. All their animations are so cool as well. Teddy falls into a TV after you push him into it. Igus overheats after using Origami mode. And Joker throws a calling card. After playing Persona 3 Reload's episode Igus, this was really cool to see in this game. Some other ones I liked were Kazuma Kiryu, who has an achievement associated with him where you just empty his pockets. You see here, he stands in front of the Kamurocho sign, and all you have to do is punch him, and a bunch of friggin' objects just explode out of him. I loved all the PlayStation inclusions, especially the Sackboy and the guy from Tearaway. Anyone remembers that game. I wasn't expecting the singer from Space Channel 5 to be in here. Same with the fucking Fall Guy, but I'm surprised by something every day. No Fortnite, sadly. Jonesy gets to be stuck somewhere else. One day we'll get him. I think I love the inclusion of Sly Cooper the most. I loved playing the game, so being able to get him as a character was so fucking cool to me. That and the Ghosts and Goblins guy. Everyone has their own opinions, so I'd love to know what other characters people loved seeing in this game as well. All the stuff I'm about to talk about was unlocked via collecting puzzle pieces, so if you ever wondered how I got this stuff, well, there you go. So another thing you can obtain are controller skins. These aren't the biggest thing in the world, but it's just for customization's sake. So if you ever dreamed of what it would be like to have a PS5 controller that wasn't just the one your console came with, then you can live out that very dream in this game. My favorite skins are between this neon one, the golden one, and throwback one. I don't know if that's the actual name, but it sounded cool, so I'm rolling with it. I love the colored buttons of the old PlayStation controllers, so of course I'm gonna love this. I wish these controllers still had it, so I use it to bask in the nostalgia I wish I didn't have. If you like customizing the look of your character like it's Super Mario Odyssey, well, do I have the building for you. Inside, you can choose from a variety of different costumes from various PlayStation games. If you ever wanted to be Miss Gravity Rush, you very well can be. I played most of this game as Sly Cooper for obvious reasons, but I love the inclusion of all these different options to fit everyone's tastes. There's also the inclusion of a low poly version of the standard Astro Bot skin. More games need to do this. I absolutely love when they have this option in games. I do wish we got to play as the bots we got to rescue in every level, but it's not something I think is a must-have. Maybe in the free DLC they'll add more costumes. Who knows, right? I'd love to just run around as Teddy. That sounds like the worst thing ever, but I just want to do it. One of the last things in this area is the safari area. It's not a very big place, but it's just an area that is specifically made so you can take photos in various environments. I love the addition of photo mode in these games, so I utilize the area a lot more than I thought I would. That's pretty much it for the crash site. The area starts off with the place being pretty much all there is to it, but as you progress it does unlock more for you to do and collect, making it a lot more interesting. You have the snow area, an oasis, desert area, and jungle. These all have specific objectives that require a certain amount of bots to actually pull off. I love running over Joker's face. This is what you get for making your boss fight painful to beat. You can also punch walls and they'll just disintegrate in front of your eyes. Now that I've talked about the crash site, let's talk about the levels. These levels have some of the greatest designs out of every single 3D platformer I've ever played. I absolutely love these. Not to mention that most of them have these level specific abilities that expand your moveset. In one of my favorite levels, you can gain the ability to turn into a mouse. Nothing too crazy, but it works extremely well here and absolutely helps make this game just that much better. You can skip a lot of the level by abusing the size switching mechanic, but if you just explore while you're small, it just feels like such a surreal experience. The levels that have a tropical feeling to them all have this light blue water, and it feels exactly like Super Mario Sunshine's water. It makes me want to just consume it. It looks so good, I wish water was real. Then there's also this level with the Great Deku Tree from Ocarina of Time, which has elephant sucking ability type thing, which just allows you to spawn platforms. It really reminds me of the Cloud Mario power-up, but like 10 times better, since each platform can have different effects. I really do believe my favorite level in this entire game is this casino level here. I wonder why it's my favorite. Not the reason you're thinking. I'm here for one reason, and one reason only.
Persona! Now that's comedy.
The power-up used in this level is incredibly unique. Needing to stop time to be able to platform your way through the stage is really fucking cool. I wish it was used more often than it was. Every world has 2 levels that include little secret exits. I'm gonna call them that. They basically bring you to a whole new world called the Lost Galaxy. These are strictly more challenging levels that are made to just get you some more cameo characters. This dojo level was so challenging it made my game crash. Man, I don't think that's supposed to happen. All I wanted was to go bathing. Guess you can't win them all. These levels aren't exactly the most difficult if they're supposed to be. They are really cool level structures though. Because of the fact they aren't doing world-specific environments like a 2D Mario game typically would, we are allowed to have these wacky level environments wherever, and it'll make perfect sense. There are, however, levels which made me want to tear my brain into my own head. I am dubbing these the Geometrical Sunshine levels. I trademarked these, so don't go using it without giving me royalties. These are the only levels in the entire game that get the closest to the absolute stupidity that is the Super Mario Sunshine secret levels. All of them except for the first world have these little monument type levels dedicated to each of the PlayStation shapes. You basically just interact with it and 4 more challenge levels will spawn into existence and are there to test your skills. I'd say the triangle levels are the easiest, but even they really kicked my ass. By the way, they are the first of these kinds of levels you unlock. That should really tell you my skill level right away. It unlocks from triangle and circle, square, cross, you get the idea. Cross is definitely the most difficult, but I swear I spent more time on the square section. I sound insane talking like this. I'm so glad this game doesn't have a game over system, or else I actually would have gotten an aneurysm. I would have been the first person to have gotten a heart attack from Astro Bot. If you think I'm joking, I'm not. I'm dead serious. I suck at 3D platformers so much, but I still keep playing them because they're fun. One of the most difficult levels in this entire game by far is this level in the cross area, where you need to be at least slightly above average when it comes to your platforming skills. I really suck at rhythm games, so this level that requires me to have some sort of rhythm was unnecessarily difficult for me. You would be surprised how long it took me to complete this. I woke up in the morning one day, and this was the first level I tackled. I almost put the game down, it took me so long. It's not my finest moment in gaming. I'm not very proud of it. I love the addition of these levels, even if they aren't exactly the most fun to complete. I'm so glad they didn't dumb these levels down, you actually have to try. It would have been so depressing if they designed something that looked like it was going to be hard and it was the easiest thing ever made. Now let's talk about these world bosses. Oh my lord, these are some of the greatest bosses in any 3D platformer in my personal opinion. If I had to compare these bosses to a Mario game, I'd compare them most to the ones found in the Galaxy games. They all aren't very difficult, but most don't actually rely on the standard rule of thirds. It mostly requires like 4 to 5 hits to actually beat the boss, which I absolutely love. The only thing I didn't really like is that most of the bosses had you attacking their head in some sort of way, whether it was their literal noggin or their eyeballs. The gorilla had you punching their eyes. The octopus was the side of the head. You get the point I'm trying to make. Imagine if the chameleon had you throw its tongue back at their head. I mean, that would have looked pretty insane, but instead you go inside of its mouth and punch their uvula. I personally loved the snake boss the most because of it being the only boss that gave me any semblance of fucking difficulty. I didn't realize how the moves actually, worked, so I kept getting hit instead of learning the damn patterns. Sounds like a skill issue to me. Once you've beaten a world boss, you will save a bot related to a certain PlayStation game. This will unlock a specific level that is based around said game. You have one for Ape Escape, God of War, Uncharted, Loco Roco, and the Horizon games. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Horizon level was actually really good and felt very fun to play, unlike the actual game. In each of these levels, you are given the respective weapon of the characters and transform into them, gaining their combat abilities with a cool little boss at the end. In Ape Escape, it's all about capturing apes, so you are given a net and a locator to find the other missing apes. I wouldn't really call this a boss, but it's pretty fun to, throw dynamite at a monkey, so I'm not complaining. In God of War, you simply become Kratos and use the axe that he has in the newer games. You just whip it at these guys and it'll fucking kill them. They have this pig boss at the end, which ends with you whipping it at some blocks of ice. The Uncharted level might be my favorite one of these. Your job is to raid this tomb, that's why it's called dude raiding. and Nathan Drake just throws me a fucking gun so you can shoot at these guys. Boss here took me a few tries, but basically I have to shoot at this guy while I'm hanging from a vine until I eventually escape the tomb. Loco Roco is exactly what you think it is. It's just like playing a level from the game. You can shrink down into tiny little balls that go through tighter spaces. You also control the character with the motion controls, so it feels just like the ball levels from Super Mario Galaxy. You know the drill if you've played the game. I haven't, so I don't know the drill. There might be more to the game. I'd have to check it out soon. This level doesn't have a boss. I don't even know what they would do for one. Then finally, you have the Horizon level. I really like this one. It's like top 10 levels for me, and that's saying something, considering all the levels are incredible in this game. I love the addition of bullet time while using the bow. You also get to aim it with motion control so it feels just like a Zelda game. Wind Waker is rolling in its grave right now. I absolutely love how everything feels here. Nothing or no one is yelling in my ear telling or hinting at how to do something. I just explore and figure it out on my own. The boss here is incredible. This robotic T-Rex has these explosive containers that protrude from its body, and you have to shoot at them all during bullet time in order to kill it. Or at least stun it for a while. The point of all these game-specific levels is to obtain the parts of the PS5 that were flung out at the beginning of the game. My favorite part of this is when you're repairing the part and you use motion controls and adaptive triggers to put the pieces together. This can't be good for the SSD. One of my favorite parts about grabbing all these parts is listening to them sing. The attention to detail here is so amazing. Let's talk about the game's music. In order to have a great 3D platformer, you need to have amazing music. This game absolutely clears this category, and it's not even close. All the music is so good, I love listening to it whenever I get into a level. The one level where you can swap between day and night cycles has the type of music you'd hear in Conker's Bad Fur Day or Banjo-Kazooie. This is by far my favorite track in the entire game. Have a listen. Whenever I play games, I absolutely love to listen to the soundtracks that come with them, and this game was obviously no exception. Picking that song as my favorite was so difficult because all of these songs are just so incredible. I wish I knew more about music so I could talk about it more. After obtaining all the cores and the cover for the PS5, the final boss will open up. This is quite a hilarious final boss in my opinion. The part that leads up to it is really fun as well. Basically every PlayStation thing in existence turns into a fighter jet, and we basically just attack a bunch of aliens by lighting them up. This has to be against the Geneva Convention somehow. Some of these guys aren't even fighting us. They're running for their lives. I absolutely loved hearing the old console sounds. It really gave me some more nostalgia. The final boss itself was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Basically, we fight him on the PS5 while trying to break the lock he has on the main CPU. He spins this wheel, and one of our bots throws a ball at us that we're supposed to use to stop the wheel where we want. All of the things in the wheel are past power-ups we used, which the phases are based on. It's really fucking cool to see. After freeing our lonely CPU, the alien forces us to be dragged into a black hole, and the credits roll. Except that's a fake out Disney style death. We come back and have to repair ourselves by furiously shaking the controller. I swear I didn't just want to do that for fun. Yes, these bots have actual hearts, you heartless monster. Don't shake these things or they'll get actual trauma. We then get the actual credits and we play through it, which is always the greatest part of these kind of games. Afterwards, you get another chance to see all the amazing people who worked on this game. It reminds me so much of the Super Mario World credits. All it does is show the names of all the enemies. That's the only comparison I can give it. Still really cool. Don't worry, I still have a little more to talk about. For 100%ing the game, you get one final level, and this is by far the hardest level in the entire game that I definitely didn't get the feeling of throwing something while playing it. It's a really cool level that gives me Champions Road vibes from Super Mario 3D World. It tests absolutely every skill you should have learned throughout playing the entire game, and it's just so satisfying to play this level and make it past the part you were stuck on previously. For beating this level, you get one last bot, and that is the onion guy from Parappa the Rapper. I forget his name, but he marks the 301st bot, meaning the game is officially 100%ed. It's done. No more. Except I forced myself to get the platinum to show I truly beat this game. If you play the game and try to do everything while playing, you'll most likely be done with most of the achievements anyways. The only ones I didn't get were some really obscure ones, like capturing the golden butterfly in the Ape Escape level and taking a picture of Nathan Drake and Laura Croft together. Something I'm surprised I didn't do, which is punch Kiryu until his pockets were completely emptied. Yeah, but I did end up getting the platinum after playing the game for a grand total of 17 hours. I guess you could call me astronomical. I swear I played the game longer than that, but PlayStation says so, and they do get it wrong sometimes, so I couldn't actually tell you how long it took me to beat the game. Looks like it'll stay a mystery. As said earlier, I really love Astro Bot. This game is one of the 3 platformers that I absolutely love. I like to reiterate and say that I absolutely love Astro Bot. This is such an amazing Sony game that deserves to be up there with some of the greats like Sly Cooper and Little Big Planet. So much of this game was crafted with love and passion for gaming as a whole, and I can't wait to see what Team Asobi is tasked with making next. Astro Bot is definitely one of PlayStation's greatest hits. I'd like to thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe as it really helps me in the YouTube algorithm. I'll see you in my next video. Enjoy the rest of your day, or night. Bye bye.